What if I told you this same custody drama has been repeating itself for years? At what point does enough become enough? Because every time it looks like things are finally calming down, another legal battle pops up. And honestly, I have one question for Martell. Aren't you exhausted yet? Let's break it all down. Before we get started, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, and when you're finished watching, head to the comments because I really want to hear your opinion on everything we're about to discuss. Now let's get into it. This entire situation has been going on for so long that it almost feels like we're watching the same movie on repeat. The more I watch everything unfold, the more I believe Martell wants people to forget everything that happened in the past. It's almost as if he believes everyone has erased the history and is only supposed to focus on what he's saying today. But the internet doesn't forget. Now, Martell is presenting himself as someone who's simply asking for fairness and accountability. He's saying he just wants equal treatment and doesn't want anyone taking anything away from him. On the surface, that may sound reasonable. But when you look at the history of this case, it's hard not to ask whether this is really about the children, or whether it's about something much bigger. As many of you already know, the custody arrangement changed a few months ago. From what has been reported, Martell currently has parenting time on a different schedule than before. Yet despite those changes, the legal filings continue. Personally, I can't ignore the timing. Remember when Melody spoke about the wage garnishment? She explained that it wasn't even her personal decision. According to her, her attorneys handled the legal process, and once it started, it was out of her hands. She even admitted she hesitated because she already knew how Martell would react. And looking at everything happening now, many people believe her concerns weren't unfounded. Now we're seeing more court filings, more accusations, more public statements, and once again, both sides are back in legal headlines. Martell has claimed that Melody has made negative comments publicly and wants restrictions placed on what both of them can say. His position appears to be that neither parent should publicly discuss the other or the ongoing situation. Again, that may sound reasonable on paper, but this isn't happening in a vacuum. When you look back over the years, there have been countless public interviews, social media posts, live videos, and controversies connected to this family. That's why so many viewers are questioning why this conversation is only becoming such a major issue now. Then there's another topic that keeps coming back into the conversation. The children. Many fans genuinely enjoy seeing Melody share positive family moments. Whether it's school events, holiday celebrations, educational experiences, or encouraging activities with positive role models, people appreciate watching the children grow. But according to the court filings and previous disagreements, Martell has often objected to how much of the children are shared publicly. This isn't a brand new disagreement. It's something that's been discussed for years, and that's exactly why this latest filing doesn't surprise many longtime followers. Then we get to Jason. Martell has reportedly raised concerns about Jason being around the children, spending time with them, allowing certain activities, and even questioned whether he should be present at all. Whether Melody and Jason are actually in a relationship isn't something any of us can confirm. We're all outsiders looking in. But many people believe the larger issue isn't Jason himself. They believe it's about control, because if it wasn't Jason, critics argue there would probably be someone else. That's why this conversation keeps repeating itself. Meanwhile, let's not forget another important part of the history. For years, Arionne Curry was a major topic of discussion. There were lives, interviews, social media posts, and countless public conversations involving that relationship. So when people hear Martell objecting to another person being around the children, many immediately remember everything that happened over the past decade. That's why so many viewers say, history matters. Another issue mentioned in the filings involves Tank. According to what's been alleged, there have been claims regarding school behavior and discussions about possibly changing schools. Now, let's be clear. These are allegations contained in legal documents, and the public doesn't know every detail. If there truly are challenges happening at school, hopefully everyone involved is focused on helping the child rather than using those concerns as another point of conflict. Because at the end of the day, the children's well-being should always come first. But here's something else people continue pointing out. The divorce, the family changes, years of court battles, public attention, and constant conflict could affect any child. No family goes through years of legal stress without it having some emotional impact. Thankfully, Melody has previously shared that the children participate in therapy and receive support. If that's the case, hopefully they're continuing to receive every resource they need. Now here's where things became especially interesting for me. I recently went back and listened to commentary I made almost 3 years ago, and honestly, I was shocked. Why? Because I was making many of the exact same observations back then that people are making today. 3 years ago, Martell was discussing mediation, custody requests, and wanting certain rules regarding who could be around the children. Back then, Melody reportedly rejected those proposed conditions, and the legal battle continued. Even back then, many people believed the disagreement wasn't simply about parenting schedules. They believed it centered around control. Fast forward to today, and we're still having almost the exact same conversation. That says a lot. Back then, Martell also discussed how expensive the legal process had become. Attorney fees, court costs, mediation, trial preparation, all of it adds up. And many viewers have asked the same question for years. How much money has been spent fighting each other that could have been invested directly into the children's future instead? That's a fair question. No matter which side someone supports, long legal battles are emotionally exhausting and financially expensive. One thing that also stood out during those older conversations involved Martell's mother. Naturally, every parent wants to support their child. That's understandable. But many viewers felt she defended Martell without fully acknowledging how the legal conflict started in the first place. And that's something people continue debating today. As I watched those old clips again, I realized something. The story keeps changing. The court filings change. The people involved sometimes change. But the overall conflict never really seems to end. That's why so many longtime followers are saying they're emotionally drained by the entire situation. At some point, everyone wants to see peace, especially for the children, because while adults continue arguing in court, the kids are the ones growing up in the middle of all of it. Moving forward, I plan to revisit a lot of these older moments because I think context matters. Sometimes people only focus on today's headlines without remembering everything that happened before. Looking back helps connect the dots. It also helps newer viewers understand why longtime followers react the way they do whenever another court filing appears. As the next season approaches, I wouldn't be surprised if these legal issues become part of the public conversation once again. We'll have to wait and see. But one thing is certain, this story isn't over yet. Now let's go even deeper, because this is where the timeline starts getting really interesting. One thing I've noticed is that every time there's a new court filing, people immediately react to the headline. But very few stop to ask, wait a minute, haven't we heard this before? That's exactly why looking back matters. When I revisited those older clips, I realized that many of the same complaints being made today were being discussed years ago. Different date, same arguments. That tells me this isn't just one disagreement. This has become a pattern. And patterns are important because they help us understand the bigger picture. Another thing that stood out to me is how public perception changes over time. When this story first started, everyone had strong opinions. Social media was full of debates, people picked sides, and every interview became headline news. Fast forward several years, and many fans are simply tired. Instead of asking who's winning, they're asking when this is finally going to end, because every new legal filing creates another round of arguments online, another YouTube video, Another Instagram discussion, another blog post, another courtroom update. It never seems to stop. Now let's talk about the custody issue itself. Both parents clearly love their children. I don't think anyone can deny that. So now I want to hear from you. Do you think these repeated court battles are really about protecting the children? Or do you believe something else is driving all of this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I know this discussion is going to be interesting. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.